All right, here we go. Hack number 2. Hack number 2 is actually a triple hack. It's actually a triple unhack. So the team over at Keap's been doing a great job recently, making a lot of updates to Infusionsoft, obviously developing Keap further, but there are some things that have been happening inside of Infusionsoft that you may not be aware of. These are great developments that are going to help you to utilize Infusionsoft more easily without having to do the hacks that we've had to do in the past. So I've got 3 unhacks for you. These are 3 things that in the past we've had to use hacks for, and now they're just built into Infusionsoft. So if you haven't been following all of the details with what's been getting updated and all the different progress and things like that, you'll be excited to see these 3 things. There are a bunch of other things going on, but we'll save those for some other tips, some other hacks, some other days when we can go into those. So 3 unhacks coming up for you right now. Let's jump over to the screen. All right, so the first thing has to do with Stripe. Many of you have wanted to use Stripe or have used Stripe in the past, and you know that using Stripe, you had to use some kind of third-party tool to connect Infusionsoft and Stripe. Now, if you go to e-commerce and you go to settings, and then you go over here to merchant accounts, you'll see that lo and behold, Stripe is one of the built-in options. It's super easy. So it used to be just credit card processors like Authorize.net and PayPal, and then of course WePay, which used to be called Infusionsoft Payments, and then Keap Payments, and now they've disassociated it and it's just WePay directly. But there's also Stripe built right in, and it's super easy. Just check the box, hit connect. If you already have a Stripe account, go ahead and just click sign in. Sign in, you'll authorize Keap to have access to your Stripe account, and then it'll redirect you right back into Keap, and you'll be all set up, ready to go. Or if you don't have an account, go ahead and just fill out the form and sign up for an account right there. Once you're good, you'll just have that enabled, and then when people check out, it will use your Stripe account. Now make sure that you have these selected or unselected to determine which credit card processor you want to use. If you want to use Stripe, then great, use Stripe and uncheck the other options. Or maybe you want to offer Stripe and PayPal, check both of those options. Just make sure you have the right ones checked and unchecked. But that is unhack number 1. Now you no longer have to use a third-party tool to process using Stripe with Infusionsoft. It's drop dead simple and it's built in. All right, next thing is in the campaign builder. Well, actually, before we get into the campaign builder, let's just talk about what this hack or unhack actually is. So in the past, if you had people who were on a subscription payment and you wanted to allow them to cancel that payment or that subscription automatically, or maybe you wanted to trigger it through something like an internal form or a note template, before you had to create an action set. And action sets are really kind of a legacy feature. They're still needed in a lot of different areas, but you had to go into this whole other area. You had to leave the campaign builder, go over and create an action set, set up that action set to cancel that subscription, and then you had to log back into the campaign builder, select that action set as a snippet inside your sequence, and just a whole bunch of extra steps that were unneeded. Now it's so much easier. So let's just go into a new campaign. I'll just create a new one, and we'll call this test just for the sake of making it quick. So let's say I've got some action that a customer is going to take. Maybe they're going to fill out a form inside my membership site to say, yes, I'd like to cancel. I can then put them into a sequence after they fill out that form. And in that sequence, I can use this brand new little snippet called cancel subscription. I can just put that right in here. And then I can choose the product or the subscription that is being canceled. So maybe it's this 30-day bottle of supplements being billed every month. And now when someone comes into this sequence and that snippet runs, their subscription will be canceled. Of course, I want to add all the additional tagging and communication and everything else along with that, but that snippet now makes it drop dead simple. No longer do you have to go and create legacy action sets to make that happen. All right, the next unhack that we have for you here is also inside the campaign builder. And this one you may have seen, but this allows us to get people from one campaign or one sequence into another sequence without having to use tags. So in the past, we've always had to apply a tag, and then that achieves a goal, and then that goal would then get them into another sequence. Now, again, coming back to the screen, we have this new snippet called Add to Sequence. So maybe after canceling their subscription, I might want to use Add to Sequence, and then I can choose the campaign. I'll choose that fancy campaign there and the sequence in that campaign that I want to move them to, because now that they've canceled, maybe I want to put them into maybe a win-back campaign or something like that, and that win-back campaign is going to promote to them to get them back as customers. So that is a very simple, nice little snippet as well. Now, I'll just be honest with you and tell you that I'm not using that snippet a whole lot yet, and the reason is because I actually like the fact that when we use a tag goal, so I have a tag goal here, and when that tag gets applied, it achieves the goal, and then it puts them into the sequence. I like that I can visually see what's happening here. I can visually see that the tag, let me move this up here. I just realized you can't see it on the screen. So that tag gets applied, it achieves that goal, and it moves them into this sequence. And when that tag gets applied and the person goes into sequence, I can visually see what's happening right here on the canvas without having to go into any sequences or anything like that. Now, if we use the Add to Sequence snippet, let's just say that snippet's inside this sequence and it's adding them to this sequence. Now, I probably wouldn't do that inside the same campaign, because if I wanted to do that, I would just connect it, right? But let's assume that these are in separate campaigns. In this campaign over here, I can't visually see where that person's coming from. I can't even see that people are entering into that campaign. So that's a limitation for me, and obviously for me and my team, we're very comfortable with Infusionsoft, and I don't mind going through the extra steps of creating a tag and using a trigger tag to achieve a goal to get people into a sequence. For me, the benefit is worth it to have that visual cue showing me that people are entering that sequence from a tag goal. But either way, that new snippet is an unhack. It's a new way and an easier way of moving contacts from one sequence to another sequence. All right, so hopefully those are helpful. There's a lot more happening inside of Infusionsoft. If you go poke around, you'll find new features and new things that are making your life easier. All right, so stay tuned for hack number 3 coming soon.